You're welcome back to the Gavel. In the past 1 month, the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Power has been holding public hearings to unravel the reasons behind the epileptic power situation in the country, despite the billions of naira sunk into rehabilitating the sector. It's been a very eye-opening series of events where issues in the power sector was put on the table and discussed. Well, we caught up with a member of the committee, Senator Mohammed Hassan, to get more details about the public hearings so far.
To me and to the committee, there are a lot of findings. We saw a lot of things. For example, so far we're looking at a figure of about 3.5 trillion naira that has been invested into the power sector. And clearly, every Nigerian common man will tell you that he has not seen any commensurate value to such investment. That is quite disturbing. But one of the major things, to my mind, that I consider as very serious is the issue of the way BP got itself involved in so many things. I can tell you now that the BP is a member of the board of directors of all the distribution companies, thereby abdicating its primary responsibility of supervising or ensuring that these distribution companies meet their targets. Don't forget what they call the performance agreements. This agreement, you have some targets that have been set for these companies that they should meet, and that is associated with time. Now, by being its member of its board of directors in each of these, then we feel that responsibility of supervision has been abdicated. The other issue is the issue of the KPIs. That's the key performance indicators. We were all surprised that this agreement till date has not been signed. And I was wondering, I even asked them at the public hearing that, then how do you measure the performance? How do you penalize them? How do you sanction them if they don't meet these targets? It's quite worrisome. And the other part is that, because these companies are underperforming, no one looks after those targets set to them. For example, if you look at the consumer metering plan, we were all shocked to hear from the chairman of NEC saying none of these discos till date has been able to achieve 30% of that target of supplying or providing meters. So that's a very serious issue. Again, if you look at the transmission, it's another area that's with the TCN. I personally raised 3 or 4 observations, one of which was the issue of the Manitoba company that manages the entire transmission company. It's an agreement between the management contract, and the whole thing is that if you look at how these agreements were structured, to me, there are so many areas that either the supervising agency is not playing its role, or those things put in those agreements were not structured in such a way that they will favor Nigeria and Nigerians. If you look at the entire power sector, and because there are so many issues, one of which that was quite disturbing was the issue of lack of regular gas supply. That is seriously affecting the performance of the GENCOs. And then you have very poor infrastructure. in the transmission lines. Now, the entire thing has affected or has trickled down into the whole value chain of the power sector, from the transmission companies, generation companies, the distribution companies, and even the transmission companies. So it's a whole thing. If this is not working well, then it will affect this. So it goes around the entire value chain. So these are major worries. One major thing is that Manitoba is being paid in dollars, and we're wondering, why should a Nigerian-based company be paid to be paid in dollars? That is quite revealing. And we're waiting for them to come back to us because they said they will write officially and give us their own position.
Okay, so you've enumerated some of the problems which has ensured that Nigeria still doesn't have regular, stable electricity supply at this point, such as gas problems, insufficient gas, infrastructural challenges, and even issues with the regulatory agencies. Going forward, how can the federal government address these issues, and how can the National Assembly come in?
Okay, now, you see, there are so many conflicting roles that these agencies in the power sector play. You see one agency playing the same role with another agency. NEC ensuring steady power supply, something like that, and you see NEMSA, another agency, doing the same thing. So there, I've been able to bring them out. We looked at all the acts establishing them, and we have compiled and identified those conflicting roles. So there's even the need to review these roles, and that will come from by amending those acts. So that's one part. The other part is that if you could remember, we invited people who have good knowledge of the sector, former ministers of power. They came, they gave us very, very useful information, and I raised this issue and I said, could this issue of gas supply be associated, or could we resolve this problem by deregulating the entire gas pricing? Would that help to ensure regular gas supply? Yeah, he agreed with me to say, yeah, that is true, that is one way to go. But above all, there is the urgent need to ensure that, or for government to review those agreements, to ensure that those agreements in no way are Nigerians or Nigeria are being shortchanged. Very, very important.